Report of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Files News Report. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure you check out blackfilesnews.com/shop and actually support the movement. Continue to support us. We continue to support y'all, giving y'all this real. Now, going into the straight into it, the House of Representatives for the United States, they actually have voted to increase the stimulus checks that everybody was supposed to be getting from $600 to $2,000 a piece. Now, this is after Trump had mentioned it, even though he late as fuck, because Democrats have been trying to have higher stimulus checks. Nevertheless, this has sparked a vote on the House floor, and they voted. So they want $2,000 checks. Now that proposal has actually been sent to the Senate. They also voted to override Trump's veto of the National Defense Authorization Act, which Trump had vetoed because it didn't have any, it gave protection to social media companies for liability in dealing with, I guess, what it can essentially be considered, fake news or essentially things that are arguable, that like libel laws, basically. So that happened. Now the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, he's expected to ask the Senate to actually vote to also override Trump's veto of the National Defense Authorization Act. Mind you, this was a bipartisan agreement. Now, but Bernie Sanders actually said he is going to filibuster if the Senate and Mitch McConnell do not have a vote on the $2,000 stimulus checks. Filibuster, for those who don't know, this is basically somebody on the Senate floor taking a bunch of time up when they're actually given a chance to speak, going against like the rules of the Senate or whatever in the courtroom to basically delay votes. So he's basically saying, if there's no vote on this $2,000 stimulus check, they are going to be working through New Year's. So that's what Bernie Sanders, senator, progressive senator, shout out to him. That's what he vowed. We'll see how this turns out. 12 Republicans would need to join the 48 Democrats in Senate in order to vote for a $2,000 stimulus check. And in the past, the Republicans have straight just gone against any rate increase of stimulus checks. Actually, at one point, the coronavirus relief bill didn't even have a stimulus check for the people or whatever, so motherfuckers had to fight for that. So for those who don't know or are out the loop, that is why Democrats even agreed to the $600 stimulus checks. But now with Trump actually even bringing that up, it gave new wind to the argument. We will see how this turns out, though. Green Wall graduation. Report of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Files News Report. Just giving y'all the scoop. COVID-19 still shaking America up right now, where you have, that's the United States of America, I'm talking about specifically, where you have 168,000 new COVID-19 cases on Monday. 1,900 people said to have been deceased from COVID-19. A record 121,000 hospitalizations. Right now, it's 40% of all ICU beds across the United States are actually filled with COVID-19 patients. Now, you also have a scenario where you are dealing with more than in California. You have like Kaiser Permanente hospitals. They're actually they have their ICU beds filled. You have MLK Jr. Community Health Center in LA. They actually are turning their chapel and their gift shop into like a makeshift COVID ward. And then you have the Pasadena, in Pasadena, the hospital over there, they're actually rationing care for non-COVID patients so that they can make room for COVID patients. So this comes as the transportation, the TSA, basically, Transportation Security Authority, they actually said, administration that is, they actually said on Sunday, you had a record 1.3 million screenings. The most that they've had, the highest daily toll since COVID-19 started. So that just shows that people are not adhering to the warnings given by CDC and the government to like heed all travel. So we will see how this all turns out. Shit looking spooky out here, man. Green Wall and graduation. Report of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Files News Report. Russia is actually reporting that their death toll due to COVID-19 is actually 3 times higher than previously reported, with their total at 186,000. That actually puts them at 3rd on the highest death toll due to COVID-19 list worldwide, only coming behind the United States and Brazil. Green Wall and Graduation. Report out the New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Files News Report. Over in Brazil, you talking about they have a president Jair Bolsonaro, who's pretty much been a COVID-19 denier or whatever, and he has since tested positive. But now his own vice president, Hamilton Mourão, has actually tested positive, and he actually said he's taking the anti-malarial drug hydroxychloroquine for treatment, even though it's been ruled by the CDC and WHO as being ineffective in combating COVID-19. Anecdotal at best, from what I've seen. Now you actually have a country in Brazil where they're approaching 200,000 deaths due to COVID-19 and 7.5 million cases. Green Wall and Graduation. Report out the New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Files News Report. So over in Colombia, you have Presidente Ivan Duque facing criticism from public health officials due to his decision to start this mass vaccination program this Friday. But that's not the bad part. The program is actually excluding undocumented Venezuelans. Public intellectual in Bogota, Professor Alejandro Gaviria, he actually tweeted saying, like, you know, to not vaccinating Venezuelans is a bad idea from an epidemiological perspective, but above all, it is an unethical proposal. You know, I'm summarizing, but that's pretty much what he said through the tweet. So we will see how this turns out. Seems like they're going through some right-wing nationalism over there too, huh? Right? Reminds me of what's going on in the U.S. Green Wall Graduation, though. Report out the New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Files News Report. We just aren't getting all the information we need from the outgoing administration for key national security issues. Nothing short of nothing short of, in my view, irresponsibility. Now, these are the words of President-elect Joe Biden, basically describing on Monday that his transition team is not getting access to all of the information that they need from the Office of Budget and Management, as well as from the Pentagon, and that the Trump administration is obstructing them from getting that info. So it seemed like the Trump administration is still trying to hold on to that presidency. I mean, at the very least, you know, as far as how they'll do it, I mean, I guess we will wait and see. Green Wall and Graduation. Report out the New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Files News Report. Republican congressmember from Texas, Louis Gohmert, actually has sued Vice President Mike Pence. He's doing so. This is a Hail Mary play, and I'm trying to overturn the election results. But the suit basically says that he has exclusive authority to decide which electoral college votes count when he actually presides over Congress on January 6th, when they're supposed to count all of the electoral college votes. So it seems like they're pulling out all of the cats out of the bag, since all of them 50+ lawsuits didn't hit shit. You know what I mean? But you know, we'll see how this turns out, man. At what point do you Republicans feel like you're obstructing democracy? Green Wall and Graduation. For the New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Files News Report. So it turns out that the United States is actually going to build a U.S. consulate out there in Western Sahara, considered by many to be Africa's last colony. This comes after earlier this month that the United States actually acknowledged Morocco as having authority over the area. Morocco has occupied the place since 1975, but at the same time, the international community has not recognized Morocco having any sovereignty or jurisdiction over the area. Again, it's considered like Africa's last colony, the last place to not be colonized. You know what I'm saying? Not colonized by Europe or none of that, whatever. But there you have it, and you seem like the U.S. is supporting that, and they're probably trying to, by secondhand run that area possibly. I don't know. We'll see how this shit turns out. Green Wall and Graduation. Report out the New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Files News Report, man. Fucked up situation out there in Honduras, South America, Central America, actually, pardon me. But you actually have Felix Vasquez. This is actually an indigenous activist who was actually planning on running for Congress in 2021. This man was assassinated by some armed, masked men this past Saturday right in front of his family. Fucked up. Now, this is somebody that was actually he's also part of the indigenous Lenca community. And actually, this assassination comes 4.5 years after another prominent leader in the Lenca community was assassinated, Bertha Cáceres. So, you know what I'm saying? Rest in power to Felix Vázquez. You know what I'm saying? It's fucked up how you could be out in certain countries and even in the U.S. or whatever, but definitely in a lot of other countries where there's a lot of overt oppression, trying to do the right thing, you can end up losing your life for it. So, you know what I mean? Keep that in mind if you want to be an activist out here, and when you actually paying respects to the activists or out here trying to disrespect the activists, like shit can't go left. Green Wall and Graduation. Report of the New World Order, Bishop Grady letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. So over in Columbus, Ohio, the city is actually taking on the task of firing, terminating the employment of Officer Adam Coy, who last week murdered a 47-year-old black man, light-skinned black man, Andre Hill. This is, keep in mind that Coy didn't have his body camera on, and you know, ended up shooting Hill, who was unarmed, seconds after like the encounter, and then after he failed to administer any aid to the dude after he lay there on the ground bleeding and dying for several minutes. So several minutes he was on the ground dying before there was any sort of like attempt at aiding this person or whatever. You see he unarmed, that needs to be an immediate thing. Like, if police officers are going to talk about how quick things happen or whatever, it's like, why is that not happening quickly? But keep in mind though, I saw the footage where basically this is this man, it was nighttime, and they did get called in for a complaint of somebody, you know, kept turning their car on and off while they were in the garage. It was definitely dark. There's no doubt about that. And then Andre Hill comes out from like behind the car. They told him to get out the car and come out. He comes from behind the car holding his cell phone, clearly a cell phone. And this you know, Coy just shoots the man dead. And his partner, a white lady, has already come out saying that she didn't see any, she didn't perceive any threat. And you can even see on the camera, like she runs up and then she looks at him like, the fuck is wrong with you? So here's the thing. Not only since 2002 had Coy racked up dozens of citizens' complaints, including something in 2012 where during the traffic stop, he was repeatedly smashing somebody's head into the police car during the traffic stop, but also keep in mind that, like, that's just, if you're that scared, you don't need to be an officer at the end of the day. Like, I know police officers want to talk about how endangered they are and all of that shit, but if you really look at the fucking numbers, compared to the amount of stops that are taking place, y'all don't have reason to be scared. The same way how y'all want to say black people don't have reason to be scared of the fucking police because of the small percentage of murders that happen by police compared to the small percentage of black on black crime murders, then y'all have to apply that same logic to y'all motherfucking selves. And that percentage is even, this is crazy, man. It's just unexcusable for something like that to happen, and you remain on the force. So they fired his ass, and good for him. Green Wall and Graduation. Reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. So, you know, people who are renting houses out here or renting apartments, they getting hit hard by the pandemic. So you have moves being made on the lawmaking side to protect these people. Then in New York, you actually had a new law that was brought in that's only to protect most renters from being evicted up until May 1st if they're experiencing a financial hardship related to the pandemic. Also in Tacoma, Washington, you had a group of housing activists that occupied a travel lodge in order to house 40 people. So, you know, in this motel basically, and they've been occupying that since Christmas Day. So, you know what I mean? More power to them, but you know, them motels be kind of dirty. I don't know, you know what I mean? But reporter of the New World Order, Bishop Grady, letting y'all know what the fuck going on for this Black Fox News Report. So over there in Minnesota, you actually had Emma Harrison, activist, a water protector, who's actually suspending herself from this like 20-foot tripod, or she's dangling like 20 feet in the air to block the construction of Enbridge's Line 3 pipeline. Now, this pipeline is something that's expected to pump 750,000 barrels of tar sands oil per day, going across, you know, the wetlands and
fragile ecosystems of, you know, Minnesota, Canada, and Wisconsin. So it's seen as a big deal, and that's why the activists have been out there. You know, in this particular act of civil disobedience, you know, she delayed construction for several hours, and this was live streamed, so you could probably look it up. But apparently, police were threatening to just like cut her down, saying, you know, they got an ambulance nearby, it'll be all right, whatever. You know, 20 feet, it's like, you know, it's high. I guess it ain't that high. Maybe you feel like you could catch somebody, but at the same time, it's a little dangerous or whatever. But they wanted to get her down as quickly as possible. They ended up getting her down. And apparently they didn't, you know, they just looked at as like, you know, this not much care for life, especially with them building that pipeline in the first place. And the fact that this past Friday, there was actually a worker for them that actually was killed in an accident on a construction site. You know what I mean? Delayed a few hours and it's right back to work. But you know how that money moved in the United States in the United States of capitalism. You know what I'm saying? Green War and graduation.